What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. And I'm not sure when Rings of Power Season 2 drops. I want to say it drops sometime in 2024. That's when Season 2 is going to come out. But you can already see, here we are in summer of 2023, and they're already gearing up for the same excuse making they did with Rings of Power Season 1. And that it's all the backlash is due to racism. When anybody says anything negative about this show, they're going to say, oh, you don't like it because we put black people in it. You don't like it because we have women being big, huge feminists. That's the reason you don't like the show. It's not because the show is objectively bad. That's not the reason. No, it's because you're all a bunch of racists and sexists and misogynists and blah, 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 blah. All the stuff that they said in Season 1, they're going to basically say the same thing in Season 2. They're gearing up for it. As you can see on this headline, this is on Variety. Rings of Power cast slams racist backlash at Monte Carlo Television Festival, teases action-packed Season 2. Now, the first time I saw this headline, I was scratching my head. I was like, why are they slamming racist backlash? Like, they're at a film festival or a television festival. They're teasing an action-packed Season 2. So where did the racist backlash slamming come from? Well, you know where it came from. It came from Variety. It came because Variety decided that they wanted to ask them about it. So you have to understand, as much as the cast is to blame, because they could just say no comment and just move on about their day, they are, they're being prompted to, answer these questions. And Variety is just as responsible for all of this racism talk that they keep putting into the atmosphere. They keep putting it out there because maybe they need clicks. Maybe they need some people to come in and, racist backlash. We noticed that gets a lot of clicks on our headlines. Let's go ahead and click on this thing and see what they're talking about. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I can't call it, but what I'm saying is that Variety is just as responsible for this as is the cast and crew who keeps commenting on it. But let's go ahead and see what they got to say. Speaking at the Monte Carlo Television Festival Sunday, cast members from this fantasy series Rings of Power expressed their feelings about the racist trolls who objected to the Prime Video show diverse and inclusive casting when it first launched. Now, this is the main culprit. This guy, Ismael Cruz Cordova, this guy's the main guy that's always opening up his mouth and saying stuff. All right. And he says here basically that Prime Video had to put an online therapist to help actors deal with the racist backlash against its casting. He revealed that it wasn't just attacks on social media. Says here, my phone got hacked. I had bank account attempts of being hacked. My PayPal got hacked. My friends got messages. I got death threats. I got things mailed to me. People found out my address. It was a lot of that. Now, look, I'm not going to condone any of this. All right. If you're doing any of this shit, knock it off. OK, you're wrong. Stop. Okay, you shouldn't be going into these guys' phones and PayPals and bank accounts and trying to hack them. All right. That's just stupidity. But again, this is only probably like one tiny percent of the people that are talking about this stuff. It has nothing to do with this racist backlash, that they're talking about in terms of social media and the people complaining about the show, right? All these guys doing all this stuff, they're just assholes, okay? And there's assholes in the world, and there's going to be assholes as long as the world exists. You're just going to have to deal with that if you're a public figure. That's just the way it goes, all right? But the thing about it is, this racist backlash that they're talking about, they're getting prompted to answer these questions. Look at this. Asked by Variety, right? At the festival on Sunday about how they viewed the racist troll. So see again, Variety is the one promoting and pumping all of this stuff into the atmosphere. All they got to do is just say, hey, how's Season 2 looking? What's the show going to be about? Are you excited for what fans are going to be getting for Season 2? And just leave it at that. But no, Variety has to bring up, oh, what about those racist trolls you guys were dealing with, okay? How you feel about that? Let me put this mic in your face and get an answer. That's what Variety is doing. And it's like, these cats probably feel like, shit, let me just answer this real quick. They should just say, you know what? I don't have any comment about that. I'm just going to here to talk about the show and the fans that are rocking with us and love us. I can't wait to see, until you guys see Season 2. It's going to be phenomenal, or whatever it is that they want to say. That's all they got to do. But, again, they got to answer the question because they want to play along with the racist game, too, And this guy says, this is the guy that played the dwarf, I forgot, Prince Durin, Owain Arthur. It's infuriating. Like, you go, oh, God, really? Are we still there as a human race? That drives me wild. The guys have been through a lot to be on the receiving end of things, and I hope one day we will, as a human race, just be one. It sounds maybe kind of pathetic and dramatic what I'm saying here, but genuinely, just stop racism. Look, dude, it's not racism, okay? It's not about racism whatsoever. It's about fans being passionate about their fandom. They want authenticity to this. They don't want you going in there and just bastardizing it and changing it around into whatever it is that you want. Okay. The whole racism thing is just the shield. And you should see this and understand this as an actor and saying, you know what, people, when I read through the majority of the comments, yeah, there may be a couple of comments here and there that are focused on, oh, this person shouldn't be black or this person shouldn't be, Hispanic or Latino or whatever. There may be some of that. But the vast, vast, vast majority, which is what you should be paying attention to, are people saying, look, this isn't Tolkien. This is trash. What are you doing? Stop. Leave it alone. You're going to make a trash show because you're putting all of this identity politics and putting all of this social messaging and all of that kind of stuff. You're layering it in that, and you're not talking about Tolkien, which is what we're here for. And they have every right to say that. Listen, if you're going to appropriate someone else's fandom and then try to exploit it for money, because that's what you're doing. You didn't make this because you had like, oh, we have a great idea for a series. You decided that you wanted to grab. Remember, we talked about this on a previous video. I'll link it above, that they wanted their own Game of Thrones. That's the only reason why Amazon even took this property. And they wanted to exploit it because it's a big IP with a big fandom, right? They wanted to exploit it. And that's the thing you got to remember. They wouldn't be making this show if it didn't have a huge fan base. So don't be surprised when the fandom turns against you because you've been messing up their show, because you've been screwing with this franchise and you've been destroying this IP and all the good work that Tolkien did. You guys are just coming in here and just shifting it around to whatever you want it to be. Don't get mad when the fans are outraged about that. Like, look, how about this, Amazon? Why not go and get a book series that is not so well known, okay? It doesn't have a giant worldwide fan base. It has kind of a small fan base, okay? And why don't you go and get a franchise like that and then build that up into the next Lord of the Rings? Make that into the next Lord of the Rings, rather than trying to get something with a giant fan base that a lot of people adore all over the world, and then you just screw it up. And then you get mad when they say, hey, you're screwing it up, so then you just want to turn around and call them a racist. Why don't you do that? Go get a small franchise or something that a lot of people haven't heard of and turn that into the next big thing. You got the money to do it, you got enough money to purchase talent, to purchase anything that you want. Why don't you go do that? No, that's too much work. We'd rather just have the built-in fan base, and then we could just go and exploit them because we know that they're going to come out and watch this thing. But the funny thing is, most of the people that watched it didn't even finish it. Hey, you remember this article? We talked about this. I'll link that video above if you didn't see this one. Yeah, only 37% of viewers even finished this show. Which is very bad. Yeah, that's very bad when only 37% of people didn't finish the show. That means 63% topped out somewhere before the last episode. I mean, you have to laugh at that and say, yo, Amazon, what did you really accomplish when only 37% of your viewers even cared enough about the first season to finish it all the way through? And now you're already getting into season 2? Like, what's season 2 going to be? It's going to be more of the same. People are not interested in the show. I don't even understand why they're making season 2. I guess the whole thing is they already bought it and purchased it, and they say, hey, we got 5 seasons. We're going to make enough for 5 seasons because we're just going to, so they got to do it. Season 2 is coming. But I mean, this shows me right here that, yeah, nobody's feeling this show whatsoever. And look, y'all, this comment right here tells you that these actors are kind of tired of this, all right? You can tell. Cynthia Ade Robinson, who played Muriel, Queen Regent of Numenor, expressed her desire to move on from the subject. She says, what I'm looking forward to as we move on to season 2 is allowing that conversation to be in the past and just plow ahead. When you have progress, it's like we're not going to go backwards from the things that we've established. I'm ready to acknowledge it and move on from it because I think we've kind of said all there is to say, really. I know that I have. Yeah, she don't want to talk about it. She don't want to slam any racist trolls anymore. She's sick of it. And that's the only reason she's even having this discussion is because these assholes at Variety keep asking me about it. And it's going to keep happening because as long as they keep responding to it and they keep answering these loaded questions, all right, they're going to have to keep, hey, that's another headline. So here's the mic. What do you got to say? What do you got to say? That's what they're going to keep doing. These guys got to basically just say, knock it off. I'm not answering that question. Next question. All right. Next question. What do you got to ask me? All right. Ignore the idiots that are asking you about racism. That would be one good positive direction that all of these cast members of the Rings of Power could actually take. If you ask my opinion. All right. It's already bad enough that they're doing this show in season 2. It's already going to be trash. But if I were one of the cast members, if they put me in this thing and they kept saying, hey, DA, these guys are, making racist comments to you. What you got to say? No comment. Next question. That's all I would do. I'm not here to talk about it. And the sooner that all of these other actors stop talking about it, hey, look, they were just focused on the show itself. And if the show is trash, the show is trash. Make no excuses for it. Just say, hey, you know what? We didn't make a good show. We got to go out there and give the fans what they want. That's the bottom line. Anyway, folks, what do y'all think about this situation? Again, we're just going to be steeped more in racist talk. And, you know, it's Variety. It's the cast members. They're all guilty. All right. But I think Variety's kind of jerks for even asking them the question in the first place. It's like they're trying to stir the pot, you know, instead of just saying, you know what, let's just talk about the show itself. You know, let the show live and die on its own merits, right? You saw that with House of the Dragon. The House of the Dragon got all kind of race swaps going on in there. Everybody was cool, okay? And the show was great and people loved it. And the racism talk has completely vanished because the show is good. If Rings of Power is good, guess what? The racism talk will absolutely vanish. People will just be talking about how good the show is. But you guys go ahead, jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.